Thanks for staying with Bernama TV. These are the top stories making headlines this hour. A strong 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck off Sabah today with no tsunami threat. We'll discuss this in our point of view segment with Ambun Dindang from the Malaysian Meteorological Department. Also, I'll be speaking with Dr. Nurul Yaqeen Muhammad Issa, a consultant respiratory physician on the recent outbreak of tuberculosis or TB. I'm ELANE and this is The World on Bernama TV. Now, before we look at what's happening around the world, here's the latest from East Malaysia. A strong 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck off Sabah at 12:57 a.m. with no tsunami threat. According to Met Malaysia, the epicenter was 49 kilometers west of Kudat. Tremors were felt across Sabah, parts of Sarawak and the peninsula. Now, to give us a sense of what took place earlier today, I'm joined by Ambun Dindang, Deputy Director General Operation of Malaysian Meteorological Department. Ambun, thanks for joining us. Now, can you confirm the final magnitude, depth and epicenter of the quake and whether it poses any ongoing threat to Malaysia? Ambun.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Eileen, and thank you, Bernama, for having me this afternoon. Yes, actually, the earthquake just occurred last night, just after midnight, at about 12:57 a.m. after midnight. Our National Weather and Earthquake Operation Center in Petaling Jaya here able to detect the earthquake that occurred at 12:57 a.m. this morning. With the depth, with the magnitudes of 6.8, and the depth below the seafloor is about 678 kilometers below the seafloor. So this is earthquake is to be more exact. It will occur in the latitude 7.05 degree north and longitude about 116.38 degree east. It's about 49 kilometers west of Kudat. So actually, based on this depth in the epicenter of the earthquake, which is about 678 kilometers below the seafloor, there is no potential for tsunami to be generated from this earthquake. So we did not expect tsunami from this earthquake, and also we checked the information with our colleague, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center (PTWC), also confirmed that there is no tsunami generated from this earthquake. So in fact, theoretically, the tsunami will be generated if there is earthquake less than 100 kilometer depth below the seafloor, and with the magnitude is more than 6.5 magnitude. So that condition, we are able to expect the tsunami generated. For this one, we don't expect any tsunami generated. And also the fault, the type of fault of this earthquake is also we call this horizontal motion. It's not a dipping motion, or what you call is a vertical movement. It's a horizontal movement. So this type of movement is not likely to generate any tsunami. And also the depth is quite deep, so we don't expect any tsunami to generate from this earthquake. Yes, Ellen.
That's good to know, Ambun. Now, based on current assessments, have there been any reports of structural damage, injuries or disruption to critical infrastructure in the area?
Okay. So based on our observation, through what we have is our social media, because the public can access our website through the social media, and based on the phone call and also survey that we are distributed to the general public. So until now, we don't have any report in terms of the structural damage, injuries or disruption to the critical infrastructure. So because the reason is that the epicenter of this earthquake is very deep. And also the location is not over land, it's over the sea. So we don't expect it to give much damage to the infrastructure on land. And if the public have any report or something like they want to share with us, you can email it us to medmalaysia.gov.my, or you can go to our website and get our survey form there, and then you can put some assessment of our survey form that is attached to our social media. So the public can give any information to us so that we can use this information to do some more studies in terms of earthquake impact in Malaysia. Yes, ELANE.
Thank you, Ambon. Now, I know you mentioned that there's no threat or there's no immediate threat of tsunami, but are aftershocks expected? And what level would be considered normal versus something that requires renewed public concern, Ambon?
Okay, with this magnitude of earthquake is considered strong, which is a 6.8 magnitude. So the possibility of aftershock is there, but the intensity of the aftershock will be lesser. I mean, less than 6.8 magnitude. That is a normal whenever a big earthquake is occurring. But until now, we did not record any occurrence of aftershock from this earthquake. So I think the possibility here is that maybe the epicenter of earthquake itself is very deep, so that any changes in the what it calls deep below the ground there is maybe the small motion is not been detected by the what called instrument until now. But we are still monitoring this situation. So our advice to the general public is that for information with regard to the earthquake, so please get the latest information from Met Malaysia or the relevant government agencies for any information, and please prevent from distributing or sharing the information from the unauthorized agency. So you want to get a Met Malaysia, you want to go to the Met Malaysia website, just go to the www.met.gov.my. So because we are working 24/7 and provide the information as soon as earthquake is detected in Malaysia. Yes, ELANE.
Now, that's great advice in order for us to make sure that we are disseminating accurate information. I know you mentioned that there's a very low risk, or has any tsunami risk been ruled out, and are coastal monitoring systems operating as they should?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, with regard to this earthquake in Sabah, there is no tsunami generated, and the public should not be worried because our analysis saw that no tsunami was generated from this earthquake. And I also want to mention here is our tsunami early warning system in Petaling Jaya is working properly, and the operation center is managed by our staff on a 24/7 basis, and the data collecting component also working well in collecting the data, because we have about 80 seismic stations throughout the country that are giving us real-time seismic data. And our system is able to detect it. And our tide gauges, which is monitoring the water level in the oceans, also working properly and give us the real time on the ground at the moment. So answering to your question, yes, our system are working very good now. We have getting all the data from the ground. Yeah, ELANE.
Now, you did mention earlier as well with regards to information, there is information circulating online, and there's a lot of potentially misinformation going on, and you did advise people to only refer to specific channels in order for them to get the verified information. If you could repeat, what are the key facts the public must rely on which official channels should they follow?
All right. Okay. Thank you, ELANE. Yes, you see the public may get a different magnitude of this earthquake from the different website out there. So we cannot deny that because information are available everywhere now. But the public may get this accurate information from Met Malaysia as far as earthquake is concerned, because we have what good system that can monitor and give all this information, and we share the information to the general public through our social media, official website. We also have what it calls mobile apps, My Gempa. You also get information on the earthquake information through our My Gempa. Okay, for this what it calls earthquake that occurred last night, this morning. So there's a different figure given by different agencies. This is the reason is that because different agencies, they get the data from different source. For example, like the number of stations that provide this data also different from other agencies to another agencies or other country to other country. So this might give a different value in terms of magnitude. And also we have in terms of sensitivity of the sensors that we are using. Some are already not sensitive enough, so they get maybe lower value. So that we are working on this to upgrade our system also. Yes, Ellen.
Thank you so much, Ambun, for sharing your thoughts with us. And these are the current updates that we have. We'll speak with you again when we have more updates to share with the rest of the public. Thank you so much, Ambun. Now, Met Malaysia has outlined the seismic data. Now, let's turn to developments in Sabah. Bernama's Syed Ilya Haris is in Kota Kinabalu. Syed, what is the situation where you are?
Right, thank you. Currently, I'm in Kota Kinabalu. And as you guys know, Sabah was jolted just before 1 a.m. today when a powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck off its west coast, the strongest quake recorded in Malaysia in the past 11 days. The tremor occurred at exactly around 12:57 a.m. with the epicenter located about 49 kilometers west of Kudat at a depth of 678 kilometers beneath the seabed. So authorities have confirmed there is no tsunami threat. Despite the depth, the tremor were widely felt. Residents here in Kota Kinabalu reported buildings swaying for about 10 seconds. The shaking was also felt as far as ZAWAWI, which is located approximately about 407 kilometers away, and Sandakan, about 626 kilometers away from the epicenter. The distance underscored the strength of the quake, and some described the moment as sudden and unsettling, especially given the later hour when most were asleep. So far, the Fire and Rescue Department in Sabah has confirmed that no damage or injuries have been reported and no emergency calls linked to the quake have been received as of now. Authorities say monitoring and precautionary patrols are ongoing, including coastal areas, to ensure public safety remains intact. At this hour, the situation remains calm and under control, but monitoring still continues, and they ask for the public not to cause any panic due to the earthquake which have hit Sabah this morning.
Thank you so much, Syed, for that update. We'll be checking back with you as the situation develops, obviously, and thank you for keeping us updated on that as well. Now, we will continue to monitor developments that are happening in Sabah and bring you verified updates as they come in. And if you are wondering what updates that you are needing to follow, please do also follow Met Malaysia. So stay tuned to Bernama TV for the latest update, or you can go to bernama.com for any updates as well. Now, we will take a short breather, but after the break, we take a look at tuberculosis. Find out why this deadly disease is making a comeback and what you need to know to protect yourself. Stay with us. We'll be right back. This is The World on Bernama World. And as of Epidemiological Week 5 of 2026, Malaysia has recorded 2,571 tuberculosis or TB cases. A stark reminder that this airborne threat is far from over. Now, joining us to discuss the surge and the solutions is Dr. Nurul Yaqeen Muhammad Isa, a consultant respiratory physician at a private medical center in KL. Doc, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Now, we are seeing a resurgence of TB globally, and Malaysia is no exception, with over 2,500 cases recorded in the first 5 weeks of 2026 alone. Now, from a global health perspective, why is TB, a disease we once thought was under control, making such a significant comeback in urban hubs like Selangor and Kuala Lumpur, Doc?
So I think nowadays we are moving towards post-pandemic era. Yeah, a lot of people are sometimes confused whether when they have chronic cough, are they really dealing with post-COVID syndrome, which can also present with prolonged cough, or are they dealing with TB? Yeah? Because sometimes prolonged cough can be confusing. Yeah? So a lot of people are mistakenly taking their chronic cough most likely due to post-COVID syndrome, because that is one of the commonest cause of prolonged cough in post-pandemic era. So I think lack of awareness on the symptoms of TB, symptoms of post-COVID, sometimes they can be a bit confusing. So I would say that lack of awareness, lack of knowledge in terms of the specific signs and symptoms to differentiate between post-COVID syndrome or TB is one of the contributing factor. that TB cases are increasing, because when they thought that they are actually just having post-COVID syndrome, they don't really go for checkup, because they know that if they go for checkup, they will be reassured by the doctor to say that, oh, this is just post-COVID, you don't really have to be worried about it. Yeah? So until they really develop TB complication. For example, they started to cough out blood, they start to lose weight, then that's when they really take it seriously. They go to the nearest hospital to do the further check. So I think awareness and lacking of knowledge is one of the contributing factor.
Now, following the global pandemic, there are concerns regarding weakened population immunity, Doc. How does the current post-pandemic landscape affect a person's vulnerability to TB? And how should people differentiate that persistent long COVID cough that you just mentioned earlier from the early onset of TB?
So we can see that post-COVID, a lot of patients' lungs are actually weaker than they used to be. So when they have a weaker lungs, their lungs tend to get infected. They can be infected by TB, they can easily be infected by influenza, they can be easily developing a lot of other major issues as well. So in order to really differentiate between post-COVID cough or TB kind of cough, we have to know what are the other extra signs to show that this is TB or not. So usually patients with TB will have prolonged intermittent cough and also prolonged intermittent fever, which usually will not be present in post-COVID patient. So in post-COVID patient, they can have prolonged cough, but they rarely have prolonged fever. When someone is having prolonged fever with prolonged cough, then this should raise some suspicion whether are they dealing with TB this time around. Yeah? And usually TB patient, they will sometimes have major coughing of blood. Yeah? Usually post-COVID, they will not have coughing of blood. So these are the major differentiating factor, whether this is COVID or TB.
Now, Doc, TB can be deceptive, existing in both latent and active forms. For international viewers, could you explain the danger of latent TB? Is it possible for a frequent traveler or a healthy professional to be a carrier without actually knowing it?
Yes. So when you talk about latent TB, you are actually talking about patient with no symptoms. Yeah. Usually latent TB can only be diagnosed when they do specific testing. For example, if they do a MEN2 test or IGRA tuberculosis test, then only they know whether they have latent TB or not. Because latent TB, they do not have any symptoms. That's why as part of our contact tracing procedure, patient who have newly diagnosed TB, we will do a contact tracing where we'll screen the contacts, the close contact, for example, the family members. We will ask them to do MEN2 tests or tuberculosis tests. Yeah? So if let's say the MEN2 test is positive, tuberculosis test is positive, but the chest X-ray is clear and the patient do not have any symptoms of cough, then we label them as latent TB. Latent TB can be very dangerous if the patient is also having other immunocompromised condition. For example, if they have HIV, if they have poorly controlled diabetes, or if they are having cancer on chemotherapy. Because those with weakened immune system, having latent TB will predispose them to subsequently move into active TB sooner or later on. But in patients who are completely well, strong immune system, usually the risk of progression from latent TB into active TB is only about 5 to 10% per lifetime. But in patients with immune compromised conditions such as HIV or cancer patient, the risk of TB reactivation is about 5 to 10% per year. So those are the differentiating factor.
Thank you so much, Doc, for sharing your updates with us. That was Dr. Nurul Yaqeen Muhammad Esa, consultant respiratory physician. That's all the time that we have. Now, as we mark the 6th day of Ramadan, we wish our Muslim viewers a meaningful and reflective month ahead. At the same time, today is Renri in the Chinese calendar, the traditional birthday of humankind, and the 6th day of Lent in the Christian season of reflection. May this period bring renewal, compassion, and understanding to all. This has been The World on Bernama TV. I'm ELANE. Thanks for watching.